Hello students, welcome to our today's class. In the today's class, we are going to focus the fourth colligative property, that is osmotic pressure. So you can see this osmotic pressure. So which is represented by using pi. So osmotic pressure. So what is meant by osmotic pressure? If you want to know about osmotic pressure, first you need to have an idea on the osmosis. Have you got it? So here, if you want to know about this osmotic pressure, we have to have one point here, that is called osmosis. Okay, so first everyone, we should have clarity on the osmosis. What is meant by osmosis? I don't want to give you like definitions and like that. Just I want to explain clearly about the concept. After that you can write definition on your own which is suitable to that. Okay. So here see, if you want to understand the osmotic pressure, we have to have clarity on the osmosis. What is meant by osmosis? To learn about the osmosis, we are taking here one vessel. Okay. So one empty vessel we are taking. So here one more important point I want to tell you. If you want to see osmosis process, we need one important one, that is semi-permeable membrane. Without semi-permeable membrane, you cannot observe the osmosis. Have you got it? So normal membrane if you use, there is no osmosis. Okay, only we have to use semi-permeable membrane. Whenever you use the semi-permeable membrane, you can notice the osmosis. Why? What is the semi-permeable membrane? What are the types? What is the specialty in this? We have to have focus. So before going to learn about osmotic pressure, you have to have clarity on the osmosis. If you want to learn about osmosis, you have to have clarity on the semi-permeable membrane. Here you see this empty vessel I made into two parts with the help of semi-permeable membrane. With the help of what? Semi-permeable membrane. So what is this semi-permeable membrane? Here you can take semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so semi-permeable membrane, simply we can represent SPM, semi-permeable membrane. What is the speciality on this? You see, first you can take a solution. You take solution. Solution means what? Solute plus solvent. Solute plus solvent. You know very well, generally we are talking about binary solutions. Okay, so semi means what? Tell me here. Semi means half. You know very well. Semi-permeable. That means half only eligible membrane. Semi-permeable membrane means half only eligible. Which half? Here you see this. Solute is there, solvent is there. Which half will be allowed? So solvent only allowed. Solute particles are not allowed through this what? Membrane. That's why it is called as semi-permeable membrane. Have you got it? Semi-permeable membrane means which allows only half. So what is that half? Which particles will be allowed through this? That is solvent particles. Why sir? Why only solvent particles sir? Here see, the pores which are present on the or in the semi-permeable membrane, they are suitable or they are slightly greater than the size, slightly greater than the solvent particles. So that's why the solvent particles can pass through this, but solute particle size is bigger than the solvent particles. That's why these particles cannot move through that. That's why we have to have clarity on this. That's why it is called as semi-permeable membrane and it is allowing only solvent. Have you got it? So is it clear? So first I have given, if you want to notice this, what is that? Osmosis. You should have clarity. Without semi-permeable membrane, you cannot observe this. What? Osmosis. Okay, so here I want to give you clarity. One more point. What is that one more point, sir? Here generally semi-permeable membranes, organic semi-permeable membranes are there, inorganic are there. Organic means you know very well, all animal bladders, okay, we can use as like a semi-permeable membrane. Parchment papers we can use as like a semi-permeable membrane. And inorganic wise, inorganic semi-permeable membranes, if you take inorganic semi-permeable membranes are, here you see this cupric, formula I am writing, cupric ferrocyanide, cupric ferrocyanide. This is one of the important example for the what here inorganic semi-permeable membrane. One more inorganic semi-permeable membrane also we can take, Ca3PO4 taken twice, calcium phosphate. Okay, so you can take these two are inorganic what semi-permeable membrane. Generally in experiments, okay, we use this one. What is this? Here cupric ferrocyanide is used. Have you got it? So this one only used. Have you got it what I am saying here? So this one will be used for the what as a semi-permeable, because it can bear the high pressure. Normal semi-permeable membranes, they can't pressure high, they can't bear the high pressure, but it can bear. That's why most of the what experiments they use this. Okay, is it clear? So up to here, okay. So if you want to notice this one, if you want to observe this one, we need to use semi-permeable membrane. Total story belongs to the semi-permeable membrane we have discussed. Now coming to the osmosis. Okay, this part completed. Now we have to come to this one. Here you see, here we are taking solution. Here one solution and here one solution. Two different solutions. Don't think about same. This is one solution, that is. So that's why I am taking this one as like a solution 1 and this one I am taking it as like a solution 2. Two solutions I am taking here. Both are different and their concentrations just C1 and you can take it as like a C2. Okay, so here my point to tell you is C2 is greater than C1. That means concentration of the solution 2 is higher than the concentration of solution 1. Have you got it again? Okay, so both sides of the semi-permeable membrane I have taken here solution 1 and solution 2. Solution 1 concentration is lesser than the solution 2, which means solution 2 concentration is high. Here I want to tell you one important point. If the solution which is having lower concentration, here it contains what? More solvent. Low concentration means what? Solvent is high. Okay, more solvent is present in which case? Solution 1. Focus here. If concentration is less, solvent is more. If concentration is less, solvent is more. Have you got it, this one? So here the solution which is having the lower concentration, that contains more solvent. Now here what's happening, whenever you separate these two solutions which are having equal, which we are taking equal level, okay, two different concentrations, after some time here see the solvent particles are moving from here to here. Where to where you have to focus? Where to where? From low concentration to high concentrated solution. Low concentration solution to high concentrated solution. The solvent molecules, I am talking about solvent molecules. Solvent molecules are moving from what? Low concentration to high concentration. Okay, so why the solvent molecules move from low concentration to high concentration? Because here low concentration means more solvent. That solvent particles are moving towards this side. Okay, the process of inflow of solvent from low concentration to high concentration is called as osmosis. Have you got it? What is osmosis? We have to have clarity. So simply you can write inflow of solvent molecules, okay, from where to where? From low concentrated solution to high concentrated solution, from low concentrated solution to high concentrated solution. That is called what? Osmosis. Have you got it or not? Is called, you can take like this, definition is called osmosis. Have you got it? One important point I want to tell you here is osmosis is a spontaneous, okay, process. You have to have clarity. Is it clear? So osmosis is what? Nothing but a spontaneous process. You need not to do anything, automatically it takes place. This is called osmosis. Okay, so due to osmosis, what is happening in the solution? Okay, solvent particles are moving from low concentrated solution to high concentrated solution. Whenever solvent particles are moving, automatically level will be changed, solution level will be changed. Here you see, due to osmosis, here see, the level of the solution is what happened? Increased. Which side? Concentrated solution level is increased, and whereas coming to this side, level is decreased. Have you got it? That side level increases, this side level decreases. So then what we are going to do is, here we are going to apply some pressure on the high concentrated solution side. We are going to apply some pressure on the high concentrated solution side, okay, with the help of piston. So with the help of piston, you apply some pressure on the solution side. Okay, so now here you see the pressure which we are applying. Due to applying this pressure, what is happening here? So due to applying this pressure, again the level of, see, the levels of the solution reach to their original positions. Okay, so here then this pressure which we are applying on the concentrated solution side, can you see this? Okay, so this pressure we can call it as like a osmotic pressure. Have you got it here? Just all of you focus. Due to osmosis, concentrated solution, what level increases, because all solvent particles are moving towards high concentrated solution side. Okay, that level increased. So to control that what inflow, we are applying some pressure on the high concentrated solution side. So the pressure which we are applying on the high concentrated solution side to stop the osmosis, then that pressure we call it as like a osmotic pressure. So here you see, is it clear? Any doubt in this? Okay, so now you can see the next one. What is the next one? Here you see. What is osmotic pressure? We have to have clarity. Osmotic pressure. The pressure which is applied, or the pressure which is applied to stop osmosis is called as osmotic pressure. Have you got it? So here you have to have clarity. Simply you can define like this. The pressure which is applied on the high concentrated solution side to stop the osmosis is called as osmotic pressure. Okay, so simply you can define like that. So here, okay sir, definition okay. Okay, the pressure can be applied or to be applied on the solution side to stop the osmosis. You can write like definition. The pressure take it down. The pressure to be applied on the high concentrated solution on the high concentrated solution to stop what? Osmosis. To stop osmosis is called what? Here is called osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure, which is represented by pi. Have you got it? So up to here the definition also completed. So these definitions and concept. But now we have to have clarity. So osmotic pressure is one of the colligative property. Colligative property means it should depend upon the number of solute particles. We people all know very well about this. So the point next one here, you see this is major point and important point. Up to here clear? Any doubt in this? Okay, done. Now coming to the next one. Here you see very important point. If the concentration of solution, here you see, if the concentration, these two concentrations you have to take, okay, solution 1, solution 2. The solution 2 concentration increases, osmotic pressure also increases. How, sir? How? Whenever its concentration is more, these solvent particles are always trying to enter into that solution. Okay, whenever these solvents entering into that solution, we will try to stop that osmosis. That is nothing but osmosis. We have to stop that osmosis. So that's why we have to apply more pressure. Okay, so that means if the concentration of the solution 2 increases, osmotic pressure also increases. Logic here you have to understand. The logic is very important. Here concentration increases, the solvent osmosis also increases. To stop this osmosis, we are applying pressure. That pressure is osmotic pressure. So therefore, what can we say here? That is, the osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration. Have you got it? Logic here. This osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the concentration. So whenever the concentration increases, osmotic pressure also increases. Generally here you see this concentration, we take it as like a molarity, capital M. So what is this? Molarity. You can take like this, molarity. So now here one more point what I want to tell you here is, you all know very well generally the pressure and temperature relation. You know very well about this temperature and pressure relation. What is that? Pressure is directly proportional to temperature. Okay. So whenever you increase the temperature, pressure also increases. This is common relation. So this one, both equation, this one you take it as like a 1 and this one you can take it as like a 2. So from these two equations, instead of C I am writing M. Both are concentration terms. So this is concentration, but here I am taking molarity, capital M. So therefore, you can write from what here? From 1 and 2. From 1 and 2. What will come here? Pi is directly proportional to the Ct. Okay. So Ct means here I am taking Mt. Okay. Mt I am taking here. So but if you remove the proportional, we have to write proportionality constant. So here what can we do here? That is pi is equal to here SMT. Pi is equal to SMT. What is S sir here? S is equal to solution constant. S is equal to solution constant. So this solution constant, according to the Van 't Hoff explanation, dilute solutions are behaving like a gases, ideal gases. So here therefore this solution constant which we are taking as like a S, this solution constant is equal to the gas constant, universal gas constant. You know very well. Why do we have to take both are equal? Because the dilute solutions which are behaving as like a ideal gases. Who gave this point? Here Van't Hoff is given. So that's why R here S is equal to R. You can take like this. Okay, S is equal to R. Right? Up to here clear? Any doubt in this? You have to have clarity in this. Do you have any doubt? Just you can comment me in the comment section. I will give you reply. Up to here clear? The next step you see this. For the next step, you can take here you see R you can substitute. So here what we are going to do is pi is equal to what is that? You can take MRT. M is equal to concentration in terms of molarity. So now M place, what can we write here? M is equal to number of moles per volume. That is concentration term, no? So that's why pi is equal to what we are going to write here is, that is N by what? Volume, number of moles by volume. So into RT. Okay, so now what we are going to do here is, that is pi v is equal to nRT. Pi v is equal to nRT. Have you got it? So take it down this one, pi v is equal to nRT. So this is the first expression which we are using to calculate osmotic pressure. Okay, so one of the important mostly problems we can solve from this. Okay, so after that what we are going to do is, here you see that next step. Here you can take a next one. What is the next one? Here you see this V, I am taking this. This is one formula, and second formula expression you see pi is equal to V goes that side. Here you see pi is equal to, here weight, what is this? Simply you can take N is equal to what? Number of moles of solute by, okay, number of moles of solute by, you can take what? Number of moles of gram molecular mass of solute. You can take like that into what? RT. Have you got it? Any doubt here? So now what we are doing is, this part is coming towards this side, this one is going. So therefore molecular mass of solute is equal to WB by V into RT by pi. You can take like this. So this is also one expression which we are using to solve the problems. Have you got it? Is it clear? Okay, so right. One more expression I want to tell you here, that is we have learned already, pi is equal to CRT. Pi is equal to CRT. These expressions generally we use in the solving problem. So I think you know very well pi is equal to what? Osmotic pressure, V is equal to volume, N is equal to number of moles, R is equal to, you know, gas constant 0.0821, okay, liters ATM mole inverse Kelvin inverse. You can take like that. Okay, so not only this one, many units are there based on the problem. Okay, so in the given units we can take this one. Is it clear? So these expressions, okay, up to here we don't have any problem in this. Okay, this is about osmotic pressure, right? So now you take osmotic pressure. After that, here some cases are there. We have to have clarity on those cases. Is it clear? Any doubt in this? Take it down, all of you. Right. So now here you see the next step what we are going to discuss. That is, I am taking these all formulas are useful to solve the problem. Okay, problems. Now you see the next case, case number 2. I am talking about, I am taking two solutions here. I am taking two solutions. In the two solutions, first solution osmotic pressure is pi 1. Second solution osmotic pressure is pi 2. Pi 1 and pi 2. Okay, so here you can take, so two solutions. If two solutions osmotic pressures are equal, two solutions osmotic pressures are equal. Okay, so this you can take it as like a osmotic pressure, OPs. Okay, so now whenever these two solutions osmotic pressures are equal, those solutions are called as what? Isotonic solutions. Isotonic solutions. Isotonic solutions. Isotonic solutions means their osmotic pressures must be equal. Okay, if their osmotic pressures are equal, then such type of solutions we call it as like a what? Isotonic solution. Two solutions we are taking, their osmotic pressures are equal, then we can say it as like a isotonic solutions. So now if you take isotonic solutions, example we need to take here. Familiar example, blood and saline. Blood and saline. What is saline, sir? Blood means we know. Okay, but what is meant by saline, sir? Saline means 0.9% W by V NaCl solution. NaCl solution. This is nothing but a saline. Both blood and saline osmotic pressures are what? Equal. Okay, so that's why these two are example of what? Isotonic solutions. These two are examples of isotonic solutions. Up to here clear? Any doubt? Now formulas which are related to the isotonic solutions we have to have clarity on this point. Okay, up to here clear? Any doubt in this? Now here you see. So after this point here we need to have clarity on the formulas of isotonic solutions. So now here you see formulas. If two solutions osmotic pressures are equal, here you know very well, pi 1 is equal to C1 RT. You know this formula. What is that? Pi is equal to CRT. You know very well about this formula. I am applying this formula for two solutions which are isotonic. So their osmotic pressures are equal. So whenever the osmotic pressures are equal, here see C1 RT is equal to C2 RT. C1 RT and C2 RT. Now what is happening here? RT get cancelled. Their concentrations are, what can we take? Same. Here I think you may get one doubt. Here same temperature. Here I am taking two solutions are in the same temperature. That's why TT get cancelled. Okay. So finally what can we write? This is 1. You have to get clarity. If pi 1 is equal to pi 2, that means osmotic pressures are same, concentrations also same at same temperature. Okay. So same temperature means TT get cancelled, RR get cancelled. So that point is very unknown point. Here you see this concentration. Concentration means N1 by V1 is equal to N2 by number of moles by what? Solute by volume of the what solution. For example, up to here clear? Any doubt in this? So this expression you have to remember. Next here understand, not remember, understand that concept. Next one, if volumes are same, what can we? Sometimes they'll give you same volumes. Same volume. So if volumes are same, what will happen? Both get cancelled, no? Here you have to take if volumes are same. N1 is equal to N2. What are same we have to understand. Is it clear? So these points, these formulas we use while solving problems related to the isotonic solutions. Have you got it, logic? So these are the formulas which are related to the isotonic solutions. You have to understand carefully, or you have to see the formula carefully. If they give generally same temperature, So in case any difference, you have to apply that difference also. Here, after that, sometimes they will mention the same volume. Whenever they mention the same volume, V1 is equal to V2 means both get cancelled, N1 is equal to N2. Have you got it? N1 is equal to N2 we have to take. So after that, N1 is equal to N2 means here number of moles of solute. So that means weight of this one 1 by gram molecular weight of or gram molecular mass of 1. So weight of second solution by gram molecular mass of second solution. You can take like this also. Have you got it? So these application related formulas we have to remember while going to solve isotonic solutions. Next one, after isotonic solution, we have to focus on the next related model, concept, that is it clear? Any doubt in this? Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, right. Now coming to this one, what is the next one? Here you see, I am taking one solution, its osmotic pressure pi 1 and it is lesser than the what? Pi 2. Have you got it? What I am saying here? This is pi 1, pi 2. So if you take pi 1, what is that pi 1? Pi 1 is lesser than the pi 2. So that's why this solution we call it as like a hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution. Hypo means, what is meant by hypo? Hypo means less. Have you got it? So osmotic pressure less, that's why here we consider it as like a hypotonic solution. So here osmotic pressure is high, no? That's why this is called as what? Hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution means what? Hyper means what? You can take it as like a what? High or more osmotic pressure. We have to have clarity. So hypotonic, hypertonic. Is it clear? So hypo means the osmotic pressure, the solution which contains low osmotic pressure is hypotonic. Okay, so hypo means less osmotic pressure. You can say like that. Hyper means more osmotic pressure. More osmotic pressure containing solution. Okay, so is it clear? Any doubt in this? You have to have clarity on this point. After this point, next what we are going to do is, here one more formula is there which is related to the what? Unequal osmotic pressures containing solution. Here you see, I am taking case 3. So I am taking two solutions. Okay, first solution what? Osmotic pressure pi 1 and second solution osmotic pressure pi 2. These two osmotic pressures are not equal and these two solutions are having same solute. Don't forget about this, same solute. Okay, these two solutions are having same solute but their osmotic pressures, two solutions I am taking here. I will mention, you take two solutions. So two solutions, osmotic pressures are not equal and their solutes are same. Whenever you mix these two solutions, mix solution 1 and solution 2. These two solutions, whenever you mix, what will happen here? Third solution formation takes place. What would be the third solution? What? Osmotic pressure. So here see, two solutions I am taking. That two solutions, first solution osmotic pressure pi 1 and its volume V1 you take. Second solution here osmotic pressure pi 2 and its volume V2. Both are osmotic pressures, both are not equal and both are containing same solute. Whenever you mix these two solutions, solution 1 and solution 2, if you mix, the third solution osmotic pressure is what? So here you see third solution osmotic pressure, which is resultant solution osmotic pressure, pi 3 is equal to what? Pi 1 V1 plus pi 2 V2 divided by V1 plus V2. With the help of this formula, whenever you mix these two solutions which are having unequal osmotic pressures and having same solute, the third solution osmotic pressure, if you want to calculate, here we have to take what? This formula. Is it clear? So this is about the total osmotic pressure concept. Here you see, generally osmotic pressure we can calculate by using Berkeley-Hartley method. So to determine the osmotic pressure, one experimental method we are using, that is here Berkeley-Hartley method. Just you can remember it, but it's not given in our syllabus, but however you have to have clarity. So to determine that osmotic pressure, we are using Berkeley and Hartley method. Okay, Berkeley and Hartley method. Okay, up to here clear? So any doubt in this? Right. Now coming to the next one. What is the next one? If you take next one, here you see this reverse osmosis. Okay, so next one, reverse osmosis. So reverse osmosis. What is meant by reverse osmosis, sir? Where can we use this reverse osmosis, sir? Very simple. Here see, the applied pressure on the high concentrated solution side, if it is equal to the what? Pi, then that pressure we can call it as like a osmotic pressure. We can call it as like what? Osmotic pressure. But here you see, if you apply more pressure, just you focus, if you apply more pressure, okay, which is that pressure is higher than the osmotic pressure. Here you are applying up to certain level. If you apply pressure, okay, we don't have any problem which stops the osmosis. But even though if you apply more, then what will happen here? Here see, story changes. What is that? Due to applying the high pressure on the high concentrated solution side, automatically the solvent particles which are present in the high concentrated solution, due to applying high pressure, they are moving from where to where? Solvent particles are moving from where to where? From high concentrated solution to low concentrated solution. This is possible in which case the applied pressure should be more than the osmotic pressure. In that case, the solvent molecules, you can take like this, solvent molecules are moving from where to where? High concentrated solution to low concentrated solution. Have you got it? High concentrated, you can take high concentrated solution to low concentrated solution. This process we can call it as like a reverse osmosis, RO. Okay, generally in our homes we are using water filters. So in the water filter, they say, if you want to buy any water filter, if you ask them, they will say reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis, this only. They will apply high pressure on the high concentrated solution. Then automatically what will happen? The pressure which is applied on the high concentrated solution, if it is greater than the osmotic pressure, the solvent particles are moving from where to where? High concentrated solution to low concentrated solution. So this process we can call it as like a reverse osmosis. Have you got it? Any doubt in this? Okay. So now this is about a total concept. Here applications are there, you know very well. So applications, plasmolysis. In the plasmolysis, what's happening here? Here exoosmosis taking place in the plasmolysis. That is one application. Here the shrinking of cell takes place in the plasmolysis. Hemolysis, if you take, that is second example wise you can take hemolysis. Here what is endoosmosis takes place. That means cell bulges. Have you got it? So next one, generally you know very well, water. Plants take water from the soil by what? Roots, by using osmosis technique. Have you got it? And next one you know very well, we like pickles. Okay, mango pickle making process. So they soak these raw mango pieces in the salt water. There also osmosis is taking place. Have you got it or not? So osmosis process is taking place in our daily life also. That's what we have to discuss about this. Okay, up to here, this is the whole concept of osmotic pressure, reverse osmosis, all the semi-permeable membrane. So this is concept. Now we have to solve some problems on the osmotic pressure. So simple problems we have to solve here. See, one by one. Only two problems we will solve. So here you take first one. See, the solution, problem number 1, the solution concentration 0.1 m is given, okay, of urea, the urea solution, okay, and the temperature 27 degrees Celsius, and they are asking about osmotic pressure. What is the osmotic pressure? Very simple problem here. You can see this. They gave concentration and they gave temperature. The urea solution concentration is given and they are asking about what is the osmotic pressure. We all know very well what is that. Pi is equal to, what is pi? Pi is equal to CRT. Pi is equal to what? CRT. You know very well about this. So C is equal to what? Concentration. Concentration means 0.1 and what is this? R. R is equal to what? 0.0821 into temperature we have to take in kelvins. Have you got it? Temperature we have to take in kelvins. Kelvins means what? 27 plus 273. Okay, 27 plus 273. So total here 300. By multiplying this, you will get 2 point something here, 2.46 will get. Okay, so here it's a 0, so 10 and 3 multiplication total. Yeah, so this is pressure, atm will come. So very simple, you can take like this. So this is given one, concentration is given and temperature is given. We know constant, these two needed, this is constant, we will substitute in this. Very simple, you can take this one, 2.46 will come, that only here, 10. So here 10 will become, this one total will become 10 into 3. So here multiplying all these things we will get. Take it down this one. Next one, next model. So you can see this, after this one more problem you can see. One more problem. We solve more but not now. Okay. So here you see problem number 2. They have given two solutions. Solution number 1. Osmotic pressure is 1.5 atm atmospheres. Okay, and volume of solution 1 is given what? 1 liter. And second solution osmotic pressure is given, that is 2.5 atm. And next one, volume V2 is given. V2 is equal to nothing but 2 liters they gave. 2 liters. They are asking, when you mix these two, both are having same solute. When you mix these two solutions, what is the third solution? Third solution, osmotic pressure. So formula you know, that is pi 3 is equal to pi 1 V1 pi 2 V2 divided by V1 plus V2. Okay, so now here you see 1 into 1.5, 1.5 plus 2 into 2.5, 5 divided by 1 plus 3, 3 will come. Therefore, 6.5 divided by 3. Cancellation here also 2.16. Yeah, 2.16 atm will come. Have you got it? So this is total osmotic pressure concept. So tomorrow we will discuss the remaining concepts. Till then, bye bye.